Welcome to Fett's Legacy, everyone. I am back today to talk about episode 4 of Kenobi. So, guys, spoiler warning, if you haven't seen it yet, please go watch that first. And also, if you guys could like and subscribe, it really helps me out a lot, and I appreciate all the support you guys give me. And leave a comment down below what you guys thought on the episode. But, guys, let's get right into it. So, I don't want to make this video too long. I just wanted to give some of my thoughts on this episode and talk about some of the stuff that I've been seeing people say about it. So, if you guys haven't seen, there has been a lot of backlash on this episode. A lot of fans not happy with it. And it's been getting pretty much a bad reception for the most part online. From what I've seen, at least. From other videos I've seen on some Facebook groups and some comment sections. You know, people have a lot to say about why they didn't like this episode. And, you know, that's fair. Everyone's entitled to their own opinions. I just want to give some of the reasons why I personally really like this episode. Some of the things that I also saw wrong with the episode. So I'm not saying it was perfect. But I overall did enjoy this episode. It was pretty cool. For me, it gave me real A New Hope vibes. You know, it really felt like episode 4. You know, going throughout the halls of the base. Vader showing up and you know, his great badass scene. Kenobi hiding from stormtroopers. It really gave me A New Hope vibes, you know, going undercover and stuff. I really enjoyed it. Obviously, there were some parts that were a little questionable. I mean, I do think the way that Kenobi got in, which is pretty much the exact same way that Cal Kestis got in, it does seem, you know, a little stupid at this point that the Imperials don't have anyone set up here. It's so easy to just break into this large fortress, and you know, they say, oh, you know, like they don't really care that much because, you know, no one would be stupid enough to attack or infiltrate the base. Well, it's happened twice now, because when Cal Kestis did it in Jedi Fallen Order, that was obviously before this, quite some time before this, and now Kenobi's done it again. So at what point do you have like someone stationed at the lower level so people don't just break in through this open water hatch? Anyway, but they had to get him in somehow, right? And you can't just break in through the front door, so I kind of understand what they had to do. But, yeah, I mean, they should have, like, someone guarding there. I give Kenobi, like, some trouble, I guess. But, you know, not a huge deal. Another thing that I do want to say is the fact that, you know, one blaster can break the glass of an underwater base is kind of crazy because, you know, this is an underwater base. You would think they would have some better protection and not glass that breaks after one blaster bolt hits it. That is kind of shaky, but again, I know they needed it for the plot and to get rid of all the stormtroopers and the purge trooper. But yeah, so those are just some things I didn't love. A lot of people are really complaining about the disguise at the end with Leia walking beside Kenobi. And for me, at the end of the day, I know it was kind of stupid and kind of cheesy, but you know, this is Star Wars. It's not like supposed to be like some super highly realistic thing. And at the end of the day, they did end up getting caught anyway by Reva and all the stormtroopers. So not really a big deal. A lot of people are complaining about Reva, and I liked her in this episode. I thought her interrogation scene with Leia was really good. Again, I want to go back to young Leia being one of the best parts of the show. I mean, her casting and her performance, it has been perfect for me. For me, there has been nothing that I can say about her performance or the way they're writing her. I love young Leia, and she's doing a fantastic job right now. And I definitely think, you know, the way they have her, that she never backs down, she never gives up. I think she's honestly perfect. So I really like that whole scene. I mean, it was a little cliche that, you know, the Lola droid ended up being the now she put in the tracker in there, but, you know, it didn't seem like she was trying to let her go at first, but I guess that's what she was doing. Pretty smart at the end of the day, because Leia was not going to give it up. Kenobi came in and he got some of his mojo back, which was really cool. I like to see Kenobi, you know, using his lightsaber again, and actually, you know, now that he's in kind of like these situations where he has to protect Leia, or, you know, it's like a do or die moment, he's really good with it again. He's got those turns and flips again with the lightsaber, and he looks really good. And yeah, I mean, it was really good. Obviously, the best scene for me was Vader at the end, just choking Reva. I pretty much every scene with Vader is the best. I even enjoyed at the beginning when he's in the back to tank and him and Vader are kind of having this like moment where they're both in the back to. I thought that was a perfect moment for like a prequel flashback, maybe some like nightmares. I really thought that's what they were gonna do with that, but he got out pretty fast, which was a little disappointing. But um, yeah, like I just feel like there were some things in this episode again that weren't great, but it did give me a New Hope vibes. The only thing I really didn't like, my biggest gripe with the entire episode, was that it was just way too short. Because if you take the credit scene, the credits, and the beginning and stuff, that's like 7 minutes subtracted off the time, 7-8 minutes. So for the episode to be below 40 minutes, I think it was 39, and then 8 of those minutes are like just credits and stuff. We got a 31-minute episode of Kenobi, which in a 6-episode series is not enough. That's not good enough. I don't think any episode should be below 40 minutes, and I don't mean including the credit time. I mean every episode, if the credits and stuff are going to go on for like 8 minutes, then every episode should be 48 minutes, because I don't want to see an episode lower than 40 minutes for a 6-episode series. That's not good enough. There is content. There's so much content you could do, and for a 30-minute episode or a 31-minute episode for Kenobi, which is one of the most important characters, this is one of the most important things in Star Wars history that they're dealing with. For it to be a 30-minute episode is just disappointing. So again, I liked the episode, but the next 2 episodes better be long. Like, the only episode that I was actually happy with the length was the first one, because even the other ones were both, I think one was 48 and one was 42, and again with the 8-minute runtime of the extra crap that no one cares about. That's the first one was 55, so I guess that's like 47 minutes, which is decent. And then you have the one that's 48, which is now 40 minutes, and then the 42 is 36 minutes. You know what I mean? So like, I just think, or 34 minutes even. I just think the runtime has not been long enough. Even the episodes of the Book of Boba Fett were longer, for the most part that I can remember, except for maybe the 3rd episode. So yeah, I just feel like there's more content to put in here, but overall, I thought it was a really cool episode. I do think that the rebel for the Path, that's actually played by Ice Cube's son, O'Shea Jackson. I'm pretty sure his name is Roken, but correct me if I'm wrong. So he does meet Kenobi, and Kenobi says, you don't know what the Empire is capable of, and Roken gives his story about his Force-sensitive wife, or maybe a former Jedi. We're not exactly sure. And so my thing is, thinking about this now logically, I do think that Reva is Roken's wife that ended up being taken, because he says she was found by the Inquisitors, not killed. So I do think that Reva is Roken's wife, and I think at the end, maybe she's going to learn that he's still alive, and he's going to learn she's still alive, and she's going to come back to the light after that. I'm not really sure exactly how that's going to go, but that is my prediction right now. That wasn't my prediction at the beginning. I did think she was, a Padawan, and maybe she hated the Jedi because they left her, or something like that. And I mean, that could still be true. She could have been a Padawan on the run, and then she met him and tried to settle down and detach from the Force, and then the Inquisitors found her and, brought her in. I'm not exactly sure how they're going to do it, but I do think that that's probably where they're taking the story, because I don't know why they would have put that in there if it wasn't really relevant at all. Unless it was just to give maybe some depth to his character, but I mean, he's kind of a side character, so I don't really know. But that's where I think is going to happen now. I think she's his long-lost wife, and she will end up turning back to the light, because we know she's not alive during Rebels, or at least not an Inquisitor. She could be alive, but she could either be back on the light side, or she could be dead. I'm not exactly sure, but she's definitely not an Inquisitor during Rebels. So we'll see where that goes. Sorry guys, forgot to add this in, but it is kind of a big part. So I just did want to say that towards the ending, with the Snowspeeders that came in and saved them. That scene was kind of weird, but I did like the use of the Snowspeeders, very similar to the ones that we saw on Hoth in Episode 5. So that was actually really cool for me because Episode 5 is my favorite Star Wars movie. And yeah, so that was cool to see. I mean, her blocking the bolts was a little weird, but when she killed one of them at the end, and you know, they came back, it was a pretty sad scene. So, I mean, that was pretty good. And the last thing I did want to say was at the end, you know, with Leia holding Kenobi's hand, and she officially now knows that Ben's name is Obi-Wan Kenobi because Reva says it to her in the interrogation, which really messes up a lot of lore and a lot of the continuity from Episode 4 when she does send that infamous message to Obi-Wan Kenobi saying, you know, you served my father during the Clone Wars. And you know, it doesn't really seem like at that point that she knows him on this personal level, and throughout the show, you know, they've become very close, and that's what I'm saying, like literally the holding of the hand at the end, it shows that they're really close. So I mean, this kind of makes sense why she named her kid Ben, but I don't think she should have ever heard the name Obi-Wan Kenobi, because that really messes up the continuity for Episode 4. And you know, it doesn't seem like she knows who she is when she sends that message, unless maybe, you know, she's really trying to be professional. But I don't know. I think this could be a big mistake made in the show. And again, I'm not trying to nitpick, but this is, you know, the continuity of Star Wars. This is the first movie ever made. You can't really go back on that. And so that's what I was worried about bringing young Leia into the show is, you know, how close are they going to be? How much is she going to learn about Kenobi? Is this going to affect some of the continuity for Episode 4? And it's looking like it is. So that, again, probably isn't my favorite part of the episode. Again, I know I said I actually liked it. It did give me Episode 4 vibes, but that part specifically right there where she learns his name is Obi-Wan Kenobi and knows all this stuff about him and they become so close really kind of messes with my thoughts on Episode 4 and how that story plays out. But I mean, we'll see what happens in the next 2 episodes. But yeah, overall, I mean, good episode. Some key aspects that weren't my favorite, but overall, I enjoyed it. So let me know what you guys thought down below, because obviously there were some, you know, some points that didn't make it great, and obviously it was way too short. Hopefully the next 2 episodes are longer, but yeah, let me know what you guys thought down below. And that's it for this video. I will have another one coming out soon, and thank you guys for watching.